Hello everyone, this is Yeshua said my name. I hope you're doing well today. I promised you a compilation video of some anomalous photos that have been taken at Piney Run Park, Freedom Park, and in the mountains of Pennsylvania, as well as in my own backyard in my own property. Okay, so what I've done is I'll be using my phone to show you these pictures, and hopefully they'll come through all right. I wanted to make a PowerPoint presentation, however, I figured that they would come through perfectly fine on my phone, so I'm going to hold my phone up to the camera and show you that way, all right? But the other day, a couple days ago when I made you a video, we were reading from Scott Carpenter's book together. I thank you for tuning into that video. The Sasquatch Genome Study, as well as the Nephilim Among Us from Scott Carpenter. I thank you for tuning into that, all right? So far it's getting a lot of views and a lot of comments, and I'm really appreciative of that. But what I wanted to do for new subscribers and even subscribers that have been with the channel for years is make a compilation of pictures for you that have been taken both on my property at Piney Run Park, okay, at Freedom Park, the mountains of Pennsylvania, and so on, okay? Now, again, I hope to go to Piney Run Park this spring. We've got 6 to 8 weeks to go. I'm going to keep checking on the Piney Run Park website to see if they're open. As soon as they open, I'm going back, okay? Now, there is a day coming up this week. I think it's Wednesday, where in our area, surprisingly, it is supposed to be in the 50s and sunny. So I'm going to try and do a trail walk for you guys, maybe Wednesday. It's supposed to be the warmest day of the week here in Sykesville, Maryland. So I'm going to try and do a trail walk for you guys on Wednesday. All right. So as always, I will wear my mirrored sunglasses. Okay. So thanks to subscribers who suggested to me that I buy mirrored sunglasses instead of my old ones. So I'll be wearing my mirrored sunglasses. And if you notice anything in any of my trail walks, guys, at Freedom Park, Piney Run Park, please don't feel shy to tell me. Let me know. Don't hesitate. Let me know if you see anything anomalous or unusual, okay? I will give you the credit, and I will post it here on this channel, okay, if you so wish, all right? Because we're out to expose the beings and the deeds of darkness, okay? So let me get into this right away. Again, I'll be using my phone for this presentation. Hopefully it'll come through okay. If for some reason the pictures do not come through as clearly as you would like them to come through, I can make a PowerPoint presentation and screenshot it on the laptop and present it to you that way. So let me know how these pictures come through for you. But this is a compilation over months of time, okay, months of time, okay, of what's happened in my own property, the mountains of Pennsylvania, Freedom Park, and Piney Run Park here in Sykesville, Maryland. Okay, so this is a combination of different locations, Pennsylvania, my yard, Piney Run Park, Freedom Park, of different anomalies that I have found. Faces, modern Nephilim. Again, even though many people call them Bigfoot and Sasquatch, I like to call them modern Nephilim, okay? Because to me, we are living as in the days of Noah, and like Christ said, it would be as it was in the days of Noah before he comes back. So I truly believe these beings know that we know when we expose them, okay? So that doesn't bother me, all right? Because to me, we are to be as wise as serpents, but innocent as doves. So to be as wise as a serpent means you're supposed to know what your enemy is up to. Do your reconnaissance work, do your intelligence work, and expose the deeds of darkness and the beings of darkness, Ephesians 5:11. That's my mission. All right. So what I'm about to show you on my phone are a compilation of videos and pictures that have been taken at Piney Run Park, Freedom Park, my yard, Pennsylvania, and so on. Okay. So as I show you each picture, okay, I will do my best to describe for you, okay, what you are looking at, what you are seeing. I will try and point out each face, each being. As a matter of fact, one of the pictures I'm going to show you was found by a subscriber named Fox Carpentress, and she found a being dressed in all white that looked like an angel of God protecting me as I was on my trail walk at Piney Run Park, okay? So I'm going to be going over that as well. But there are some images here that could be disturbing to some younger viewers. So if you have younger children, or if you yourself are sensitive okay, to the supernatural or maybe beings that you may not want to see. This is just a caveat that I'm putting up here, that if you do not want to watch this video due to the pictures I'm going to show, I understand. Or if you have young children in the room with you or in your home, you may want to have them be excused for a while until this video is over. This is just my way of warning you about this, that what images I'm about to show you, okay, some of them, to me, they're not disturbing, but to maybe some people they would be. So I'm trying to be sensitive to that, okay? And just let you know that ahead of time, all right? I do believe that some of the things that I've experienced in my own yard here in Sykesville, Maryland, my yard backs to Piney Run Park. I've shown you pictures of my yard and how it backs to the woods of Piney Run Park. You know, I'm literally right next to Piney Run Park where all this has happened. Anyway, so I'm telling you, one evening when I got out to take a picture of a sunset, after seeing that staff driven into my ground, which I will show you pictures of, okay, I asked the Father, Lord, is this what I think it is? Is this one of those Nephilim beings trying to intimidate me, or is it Satan pushing back at me, trying to intimidate me or frighten me into silence? And then when that orb flew by, there's no way, guys, that I could have timed it. I held up my phone like this, and I was taking a picture of a sunset off to my west, and just as I was doing that, a white orb flew by. And as I took it, it just happened to fly by. My phone captured it, and when I blew up the picture, okay, and ran it through filters, there were definitely eyes on this orb looking at me. There was a being in this orb looking at me. That's why I believe these modern Nephilim can travel this way. And I believe they have supernatural abilities because, like we stated in the previous video, the paternal nuclear DNA cannot be found in GenBank. Again, for those of you who are new here, welcome. GenBank is a scientific geneticist, scientist. It's basically a repository for every living being on this planet. Okay, the DNA for it, whether animal life, plant life, human life, no matter what it is. Okay, there's been samples collected called GenBank and placed in GenBank. Okay, so we can identify different species on this planet. Now, when it comes to the modern day Nephilim or the Sasquatch phenomena, okay, Scott Carpenter proved in his book, the Sasquatch DNA study from the Sasquatch Project, that the mitochondrial mother's DNA could be proven as being human. However, the nuclear paternal father's DNA cannot be found anywhere in GenBank. Okay? So that's why I'm calling them modern Nephilim. Because we are living, I believe, as in the days of Noah. Now, am I putting dates and times in anything? No. What I'm telling you is I believe we are living in the season that Christ told us to look for. And I believe these things are coming to pass, and I believe we're going to see more and more of these sightings, more and more of these beings, more giants, more modern Nephilim, etc. More fearful signs in the sun, moon, and stars, Luke 21, Matthew 24, and I believe we're here, guys. Now, am I saying I know a date or time? Absolutely not, because for me to do that it would be wrong, because Jesus himself said only the Father knows the day and the hour. All I'm doing as a watchman on the wall is alerting you to what is out there and what is going on in our day and our time. Okay? So let me begin. As I show you these pictures, I will do my best to make them clear for you. I'll expand them and blow them up for you. I'll show you details. I'll point to different details for you. So hopefully you can see them. If you would like, feel free. This is free use. Okay, guys? So anything that I present on this channel, pictures and otherwise, feel free to download and use as you wish, okay? The only thing I ask is that you give me credit on this channel, that you found these images on the YSMN, Yeshua Said My Name YouTube channel, okay? That's the only thing I ask. But you're free to use them, download them, examine them yourself, okay? And run your own filters through these pictures that I'm going to show you. Now, the pictures I'm about to show you are pictures that I have found in my sunglasses, that subscribers have sent me on my trail walks at Piney Run Park, at Freedom Park, and there are pictures I've taken in my own backyard, okay? And there are pictures I've taken, okay, at my friend Christine's property in the mountains of Pennsylvania. Now, as far as the mountains of Pennsylvania go, what I'm going to show you during this video is only a minuscule amount of photos I've taken. If I were to take, I really should get all the pictures together, but from Pennsylvania. But it's a minuscule amount of pictures I'm going to show you that have been taken from the mountains of Pennsylvania in my friend Christine's yard. Okay, I hope if she has not been feeling well lately, so I would covet your prayers for her. She's been struggling with health issues. My friend Christine has. If I get a chance to visit her and interview her again, and she shows you newer, updated photos from her property, from these modern Nephilim, I will do the best I can. As a matter of fact, I'd like to get out there this week and see her. If not, I will try and schedule it at a time when she feels physically able. She has type 1 diabetes, so she deals with a lot of health issues that I know she'd covet your prayers. If I get a chance to visit my friend Christine and show you the additional pictures she has, the additional evidence that she has, I will do my best to get out there and interview her and show you the newer pictures that she has to share with this channel, okay? Hopefully this week, if not this week, hopefully within the next week or two, all right? I need to be sure that she is physically able to give an interview and that she feels physically up to it, all right? So let me begin by showing you some pictures that I have taken, okay, at Freedom Park, at Piney Run Park, pictures in my own backyard and on my own property. Okay, proving to you that these modern Nephilim do indeed exist, and that we are living as in the days of Noah, Luke 21 and Matthew 24. Okay, so let me hold up these pictures for you in front of the camera. Now, when I went to Freedom Park about a month ago, all right, I took pictures for you of what was an X. I found an X, and what's interesting is when I was walking through the woods. Now, when I found this X. Now, when I go to Freedom Park, I have to go off the beaten path. All right, there are paved trails at Freedom Park. However, when I take you on trail walks at Freedom Park, which I may do again on Wednesday when the weather warms up to near 60 degrees and it gets sunny out here in my area, I may take you off the beaten path and take you off the main trails deep into the woods. Okay. However, I went into the woods one day off the beaten path, and I remember saying out loud on camera as I was filming for you guys, wouldn't it be interesting if I came across an X formation? Well, don't you know that no sooner did I say that, okay, I looked up to my right and there was an X formation. Okay, and this, what I'm about to show you, is what I found. All right, so let me see if you can see this. Let me hold this up. This X formation is what I found. Okay, you can see the X here. Here's an X. Here's an X. Now, when I first, before I saw this X formation, I made a comment, on the trail walk I was doing, saying, wouldn't it be interesting if I found an X formation? And no sooner I looked off to my right, and there was this right here. And I took a picture of it and thought, oh my goodness, look at this. Here's an X formation. And this was sitting off the beaten path, way off the main trails. Remember, when I take you to Freedom Park as well as Piney Run Park, I go off the main trails and I go deep into the woods for you guys, all right? To do reconnaissance work, intelligence work on the enemy, and get video evidence and photographic evidence. This is the pictures that I got of the X formation, all right? And literally 5 seconds before I saw this, I just happened to look off to my right. I'm not kidding. If you doubt it, go back and watch the video that I made. Okay? I said to myself, actually I said to the camera as I was filming, wouldn't it be interesting if I found an X formation? And literally 5 seconds later, I looked to my right-hand side, and here it was. And I took a picture of it, and this is what I found. If this is not an X formation from a Sasquatch or a modern Nephilim, I'd like to know what the heck it is. That's what I found. I've got much more for you guys, okay? So put your seatbelts on, get ready, okay? There's more to come. This picture here was a picture taken of a snap of a tree that was broken and the bark was peeled back, and it's fresh. And this was at Freedom Park. This was not at Piney Run Park. This is at Freedom Park. Just like the X that I showed you. The X formation that I found for you was at Freedom Park as well. So is this. So this is Freedom Park, where the bark was stripped back from a fresh piece of wood. Okay, I found that. So I will show you, okay, the differences between what I found at Freedom Park and Piney Run Park, all right? Now, Freedom Park, again, this is what I found. Now, I was off about 20 yards away from here when I saw this stick jutted into the ground. Okay, let me hold it up close to you. This, I was about 20 to 30 yards away, I would guesstimate, at Freedom Park. And I happened to look off to my left, and I said, what is that? And this particular stick was about 6 feet tall, but it was jutted about and driven about 2 feet into the ground when I found it. And when I found it, as you can see, the edges are jagged and broken off. This is not done by a saw, okay, a clean saw or some kind of electronic tool. This was definitely snapped in half by something or someone. And of course, you know what I have in mind here about what broke this off. Let me see if I can find you another photo here. I've got pictures of it behind myself. This is how tall it was. It was probably, I was out at Freedom Park that day. Now, if you look, like right here, look how tall this was. Now, you can't tell by the pictures because I'm standing in front of it. But if you look, okay, it was driven into the ground. This was not a natural tree that had roots, a root system into the ground. It was driven into the ground and broken off. And to me, here, let me zero in on this a little bit for you. To me, these edges, the break was, it looked like it was cracked, like with opposable thumbs, okay? This was not, a clean saw break or someone, using a saw and cutting through, or even an electronic saw where they just zzz and cut right through it, okay? This to me looks like something that was driven in, it was driven into the ground. Now, when I actually pulled it out of the ground myself when I was there that day, I pulled it out of the ground and it was 2 feet into the ground, and I had to really pull hard to get it out of the ground. Now, I didn't film myself doing that, so you can take my word for it if you like, okay? But I pulled it out of the ground, and it was about 2 feet into the ground. But look how tall it is next to me. The whole thing was probably, I'd guesstimate, 7 or 8 feet tall and driven 2 feet into the ground and broken off by opposable thumbs. Look at this thing. And it was just driven into the ground. And when I saw this thing, I was about 20 yards away, and I said, what is that? What is that? And I walked over and looked at it at Freedom Park, and that's exactly what I found. All right. Now, let me see if I can get, now here's another picture of that. Now, look at how that's the jagged edges. Now, there's a subscriber named Fox Carpentress. She's a woodworker. She deals with wood. I guess this is her profession, and if she's watching this video, thank you, Fox Carpentress, for your comment. When I posted this picture originally on this channel, she confirmed for me that this was not done by a saw. This was done by something with opposable thumbs, because she told me, I work with wood, I'm a carpentress, and I work with wood, and this was definitely broken in half by something with opposable thumbs. Now, when you look at the size of this tree, okay, what is it? Maybe 4 or 5, 6 inches in circumference. When I put both of my hands on either side of this branch right here, okay, I put both of my hands around it, and I couldn't even fit both my hands around it, okay? It literally was that wide. So something had to take it and crack it in half and drove it into the ground. So when I found this at Freedom Park, I thought it was anomalous. So when I saw it off in the distance, it was probably about 20 yards from me, and I saw it and thought, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to go and investigate, all right? And this is what I got. And this was about 2 feet, driven 2 feet into the ground, probably about maybe 6 or 7 feet tall, and definitely cracked in half and stuck into the ground at Freedom Park. Okay? I'm telling you guys, it's like the more I go out, the more I find, all right? So if I go out this Wednesday, Lord willing, I always say Lord willing, weather permitting, I'll see if we find any more anomalies, all right? But I wanted to show you that, and when Fox Carpenter saw this, now here's another picture close up of these jagged edges. Does that look like someone took a saw to this? Whether a hand saw or an electronic saw? No. Something with opposable thumbs broke that in half and drove it into the ground. Look at those jagged edges. That is not a clean break, like from something with a saw, in my opinion, okay? Let me see what else I can find you here. Here's some other pictures that I found from a different angle. Okay. I got a lot to show you guys here. Okay, this was during a trail walk at Piney Run Park in the fall before the park closed. I can't wait for the park to reopen, guys. I am so looking forward to going back to the park, not only because I enjoy Piney Run Park, but also I'm looking forward to going to that Sasquatch Festival and interviewing people, okay? Like I said, I intend to bring my equipment, my computer, and see if there's anyone there, okay, that comes to this Sasquatch Festival that would like to be interviewed on my channel, okay? I will let them know that I'm a Christian, and I'm coming at this from a biblical viewpoint. However, if they are interested, whether on camera or off, of giving me a testimony of what they've experienced and why they are at this Sasquatch Festival, this Modern Nephilim Festival, I want to hear their testimony. I want to hear what people have to say, all right? So anyway, I found this face, okay, looking at me. It looks like almost like a white Sasquatch. Let me see if I can hold it up for you so you can see it. Do you see the eyes, nose, and mouth? There's an eye. Here's the head. Okay, and I circled it for you. And here's the nose. Now I can't see the mouth really too much, but here's a head. It almost looks like a white Sasquatch, a white Nephilim. And I'll put it up closer for you guys. This was on one of my trail walks at Piney Run Park. Not Freedom Park, but Piney Run Park. And I circled it. Hopefully you guys can see this. Okay? So when I told you yesterday that I'm being watched, that I know I'm being monitored and I'm being watched, I am. I know that. And am I seeing these beings with the naked eye? I'm not. That's the amazing thing, is that I'm only seeing these things through technology. Through, the refraction of light from my camera to my sunglasses, the refraction of light is exposing these things and decloaking them so that I can see them. And I truly believe that's the Father allowing me to see these things so I can expose them to you, okay? So here's another image through a different filter of the same being, okay? So here we go again. Can you see the eyes, the nose, maybe a partial image of the mouth? But you can definitely see eyes, nose, and a head there, right? Looking at me, peeking around at me behind a tree. Now, I was taking a walk that day at Piney Run Park, okay? I had no idea this thing was looking at me, okay? I couldn't see it, not with the naked eye. There it is, looking around a tree at me. Its body is hidden behind foliage and trees, but it's peeking around at me as I'm walking the trails at Piney Run Park. So when I told you during my last video that am I being watched, am I being monitored? Absolutely. But is it going to stop me from doing what I'm doing? Nope, it's not. Because you know what? I'm a daughter of the Most High. And God has given the earth to man, okay? Made in his image, and that's me. And you know what? I'm going to go out, I'm going to enjoy the park, and I'm going to walk, and I'm going to enjoy the sun and the trees and nature, and I'm going to get out there anyway, okay? All right, let's see what else we got here for you guys. Okay, this is the same image through a different filter that I'm going to show you of this white Nephilim being, okay? I like to call them modern Nephilim, okay? I know people call them Bigfoot, Sasquatch, I get it, okay? But I like to call them modern Nephilim because I agree with Scott Carpenter that these are modern hybrid offspring in our lifetime. So I like to call them modern Nephilim, okay? So here we go. This is just through a different filter. I figured I'd show you this, and then I'll end this picture for now. But there is a definite face there looking at me, peering around a tree, watching me. There's definitely two eyes, a nose. I can't see the mouth, but there's definitely eyes and a nose there and a head, peeking around this tree, looking at me as I'm walking through Piney Run Park. Again, these are free use. Feel free to download the pictures. Feel free to freeze frame them, capture them, run them through your own filters, whatever you want to do. Use them on your own channel. The only thing I ask is that you would please reference my YouTube channel. If you're a YouTube creator or you put things on Facebook, if you would please reference my YouTube channel and give me the credit, I would appreciate it. Okay, because these are pictures that I've taken on my films when I've done my walks at Piney Run Park and Freedom Park. So I would appreciate the credit. Thank you. This is another picture that's a little bit difficult to make out, but I can see eyes and a face. Okay, so let me see if you can see that. I circled it for you guys. What I see here is there's an eye, here's the head, and I circled it and I put a question mark because it looked like a face to me. Now, can you see that? It almost looks like a nose right here, a mouth down here, and two eyes, and a head. And it looks like it's partially cloaked, in my opinion. Can you see that? And I circled it. When I found it, it looks like eyes, nose, and a mouth, and a head. And I put a question mark, hoping that people could see it. But I circled what I found in my sunglasses. Now, that's another thing I find interesting, is that, whether I'm filming with my phone, and I'm wearing my sunglasses, or I'm using my laptop and filming and I'm wearing my sunglasses, it seems to me that the refraction of light is decloaking these things. Okay? It's making them visible. Now, whether the Father is doing that for me and allowing me to see these things, I don't know. But the refraction of light between the camera, okay, and my sunglasses, okay, is the refraction of light is making these things uncloaked or visible to me. Or the Father is allowing me to see these things, okay, so I can expose them to you. But they're out there, guys, and we are living this in the days of Noah, and I'm trying to prove that on this channel, all right? All right, let me see here if I can find something else for you guys. Let me see. Okay, now, some of these pictures I'm going to show you were sent to me by brothers in Christ, okay? One of them is Brother Isaac. Another is Brother Michael. So there are two brothers that have sent me images that I'm going to share with you today. And a couple of images I will share with you were sent to me by a sister in Christ named Fox Carpentress. But let me share with you what Brother Isaac sent me. And if you're watching Brother Isaac, thank you for what you've sent me. If I go on a trail walk this Wednesday or sometime this week, I would appreciate if you have the time, or any of you have the time, if you would do me the honor of helping me to identify anything anomalous. Okay, so Brother Isaac found what looks like, he says, it looks like a man's head with eyes, nose, and mouth watching me, and he circled this. So this is not something that I found. Now, what I have shown you so far in this video are things that I have found, things that I have captured on my videos that I personally have found. So what I've shown you up until now is something I have found. So I will differentiate for you from what I have found and what a brother or sister has found and sent me through an email. Okay? So this is coming from Brother Isaac. Hopefully you can see this. To me, it's very clear. I hope you can see it. But there's a face here. He says that there, it looks like a man's face. And if you look, okay, there looks like an eye, a nose, a head, and he circled this for me, and he said it looked like I was being watched by a face. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. He said there was a face watching you. It looked like a man's face, and he said that these look like eyes here, eyes, nose, head, mouth, right here. And that came from Brother Isaac, okay? So I wanted to show you that. Thank you, Brother Isaac, for that. There's another image of this. He said, eyes watching you, and he circled it for me. So if you look at this, he says, eyes watching you. Now, if you can look closely, you can see there's an eye, a nose, and a mouth. And let me put it up closer for you so you can see it. Now, this wording down here came from Brother Isaac, and so did the circles. Okay, so he found this and sent this to me during an email, saying that there were eyes watching me. Now, if you look how I'm holding this up close. Look at this. If this isn't you know, if this isn't a nose and an eye right here, what is it? Look. Do you see the eye right there? Look at the eye. There's a definite dark pupil there, a dark eye looking at me. It looks like a face of some kind, half cloaked. Look at that. That's from Brother Isaac while I was taking a trail walk at Piney Run Park. And he circled that for me and said, eyes were watching you. Can you see the face now with the eyes? Look at the eye right here. Right there. Right there. To me, I can see the face, but that's just me. Let me see, what else do we have here? Okay. This is another one from Brother Isaac saying he felt like someone was watching me. I believe it was a spiritual being watching me. Okay. So this is from Brother Isaac, and he sent this to me as well. He said it was a man in a suit watching you. It could have been a spiritual being or some kind of fallen angel or fallen being watching me. And that's what he felt he saw. And he circled it and sent it to me. And this is from Brother Isaac. I'll hold it up closer for you guys. Okay. Thank you, Brother Isaac. Now, this next photo I'm going to show you was from Fox Carpentress. She has been invaluable, as well as Brother Isaac, for sending me photos that they have found in my sunglasses and in my films when I've taken you on trail walks at Piney Run Park, Freedom Park. Okay. This next image, and I'm going to try and point something out to you because even she admitted, unless you're looking carefully, it may be hard to distinguish, hard to figure out, or hard to see. But there seems to be a very tall being dressed in white, and the only dark area of the body is the head. And she believed, Fox Carpentress believed, when she pointed this out to me, and she gave me the timestamp and everything, that I was being monitored by a holy angel from God protecting me as I was taking my trail walk on Piney Run Park. Can you see this being? Now, as you can see, this is my phone here. I have a selfie stick here. This is my phone, and I'm taking a trail walk. Can you see the being? Here would be the head. The dark area is the head. Here's the shoulder, the arm, the torso, the legs. Here's the legs on down here, the torso, the arm, and the head. All dressed in white. And the only dark area is the head. Can you see the torso, arm, and legs? And she pointed this out to me with a timestamp and told me, you know, I think you were being watched by a heavenly angel protecting you while you were taking your trail walk. Okay? So let me see if I can find, I have other images of this with different filters through it. Let me see, I'll bring that back up again for you guys later. I have other images of that, but let me show you that one more time. Let me blow it up a little bit larger. If you can see that. Can you see the darkened area almost looks like a head? You can almost see like here's the head, here's the shoulder, the arm, the legs, torso. And she felt like there was a being there from the Lord, dressed in white, huge, very tall, sent there to protect me. And I outlined it. And she gave me the timestamp and told me what to look for, and I found it. So I want to give Fox Carpentress credit for this. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. Let's look at more, okay? This isn't the end. I was sent this image. It's a little disturbing, so I just want to warn you ahead of time. It's not easy to look at. However, I was sent this image from another brother in Christ that said they saw this being watching me from behind a tree while I was taking a trail walk through Piney Run Park. I'll show you the image. Okay, can you see the face? Here's a nose, an eye, here's a head, okay? And notice how there's branches here and foliage, branches and foliage. It's like it's hiding behind the foliage and the branches, and you can see the pupil of the eye. Look, right here. See the pupil? Let me hold it up close. Can you see the face? Look at the pupil in the eye, looking at me, hiding behind the foliage and behind the branches as I'm walking through Piney Run Park. Nose, eyes. To me, that one eye is very visible. The shape of the head, everything is hiding behind the foliage and the branches, just watching me as I'm walking by. I mean, look at the eye right here, right here. Look at the eye, right here. Can you see that? You can even see the pupil if I bring it up close enough. Look at the face. Can you see the pupil? The nose, the eyes, the shape of the head? Can you see it now? Blending into the foliage, just watching me as I'm walking by. That's why when I told you guys during my last video, do I think I'm being watched? I know I'm being watched. You know, does it bother me? Nope. Is it going to stop me from going out and enjoying what God has given me? Nope. It's not. Now, this next image I'm going to show you, okay, is not disturbing, but it's interesting. And what I want to show you is that this tree break that happened, okay, that I came across looked fresh to me. And as I was filming this particular tree break at Piney Run Park, okay, not Freedom Park, Piney Run Park, before the park closed, my phone literally died on me twice. I tried to take video, I tried to take picture, and each time I tried to take a picture or video, my phone quit. My phone died on me twice. And, you know, I think I remember making a video about that, how my phone just quit on me. My phone quit on me. So this is the image that I took, okay, of this tree break. It wasn't a complete break, okay? It was just a, you know, here, let me hold it up close. I'm sorry, let me hold it up like this for you guys. It wasn't a clean break. It was snapped and pulled over. Now, for some reason, when I took this image of this break, my phone died twice. Why is that? Was there some kind of magnetic anomaly around? I've heard of people's, electronics quitting, phones draining, batteries draining, phones dying, things like that. I don't know. Maybe there was something around me that was watching me take a picture of this and it drained my phone and shut it off. But before my phone shut off for the third time, I was able to capture this picture. And as you can see, it was not a clean break. Okay, but this is what I captured, and my phone died on me twice trying to capture this image. Why? I do not know, unless I was being monitored and watched, and all of a sudden my phone shut off twice. And I had to keep turning it on, saying, man, I just want to get this picture. And I had to try 3 times to get this picture. 3 times it took me to finally get this picture that I'm showing you here at Piney Run Park. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I got plenty more to show you. All right, this image here was in an image in my sunglasses. There is a definite face here in my sunglasses. I hope you can make it out. Let me see here. I don't know if you can make that out or not. It's very difficult. Let me see if I can get a better picture of that for you. Actually, there's a face right here. It's kind of hard to make out, I think. There's eyes, there's the brow ridge here, where eyes here, a nose, and a mouth. And it's kind of hard to see in my sunglasses. Can you make out a face there? There's a brow ridge, eyes, nose, and a mouth. I think I have a better picture of that for you guys. Let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, here's another image of, and I'll bring it up in a minute, of a face in my sunglasses. So you can see the rim of my sunglasses here, okay? And if you look closely enough, you can see here's an eye, a nose, an eye. Here's a cone-shaped head up here. This is definitely an elongated skull up here with an eye and a nose. Can you see that? There's eyes looking at me right there. There's 2 eyes and a nose visible and a cone-shaped head looking at me, right at the image of my sunglasses. You can even almost see like the pupil right here. Can you see that? Okay. So that's just another image that I took at Piney Run Park. Here's a couple of arches that I found at Piney Run Park. Let me see if I can clear the images up for you and make it a little bit more clear. Okay, these are some arches that I found at Piney Run Park that don't look natural to me. Again, I found these at Piney Run Park. Okay, these to me were not natural images. I mean, natural formations. Somebody with opposable thumbs took them and bent them over, driven them into the ground and bent them over. Okay, so here you go. That's not natural. I'm sorry, it's not natural. That is not wind, a squirrel, a bear, a deer, a fox, or snowfall. What bent these over like this? And there's 4 different images of them. What did that? What natural phenomenon would have done that? I just want to know. Okay? So I took pictures of what I found. Now, the next pictures I'm going to show you are pictures that I found in my own backyard. Okay? So these are images that I found in a slightly wooded area on my own property. Okay? In my backyard. That I found that I thought was anomalous. Because the way these sticks were positioned had to be, not only was done by someone with opposable thumbs, but the way the sticks were positioned, they had to be placed behind, okay, 2 sticks that were upright. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. First of all, let me show you this. Let me blow it up. Okay? All right, this right here. Now, I've shown you images of this before. I made a video about it. There were 2 sticks coming out of the ground, and this stick here was bent over from the right-hand side of my yard and stuck behind these 2 sticks here, right here and here. And this stick here running behind it was placed behind these 2 sticks. Okay, there's no way that the natural tree fall could have done that. These 2 sticks right here, okay, here and here, were jutted into the ground, and then this stick here running behind it was put behind these 2 sticks, bent over from my left, okay, from the ground, and bent over and placed behind these 2 sticks. Positioned that way in my yard. Snowfall doesn't do that, fox don't do that, deer don't do that, bear don't do that, coyote don't do that, wind doesn't do that, snow doesn't do that. What does that? And the tension between the sticks was so tight that it literally amazed me that, you know, I mean, it was just literally perfectly positioned so that one stick was purposely bent over and put behind those 2 sticks that were sticking up. Okay? There you go. All right. This was another stick I found in my yard that was just, I went out one morning and it was just jutting right out of my yard, right here. It was probably about 3 feet tall. It was near my bird feeders, and I went out, it was just sticking out of the ground in my own property, in my yard. So this was not at Freedom Park or Piney Run Park. This was in my yard. Okay? Let me see what else I can find, you guys. All right, this is another image of another stick that I found jutting out of my yard, just driven into the ground. Now, I've lived on this property for 21 years and never seen things like this until about a year or so ago. What's interesting is after I started exposing the Sasquatch modern Nephilim phenomenon, that's when I began to notice all these anomalies happening on my property. Okay? That's why I know it's not a coincidence. All right, here's some other pictures that Fox Carpenter sent me. I'm going to see if, okay, this picture I'm going to show you is not outlined. I'm going to see if you can see it on your own without me outlining it, okay? So this is what she found, the timestamp she sent me, and I looked it up and ran it through some filters and found it on the reflection and the refraction of my sunglasses, okay? Let me see if you can see this angelic being watching over me. Can you see him standing there? Okay, I'll point it out to you if you have a hard time. All right. Head, shoulder, arm, legs, torso, and waist. And there's an entire being right here, standing right here. Can you see it? Now, I didn't know that this being was standing there watching me, but it was. All right. Now let me show you another enhanced image with me circling it. Can you see it better now? And Fox Carpentress, a subscriber on this channel, told me she felt like this was an angelic being dressed all in white watching over me. This being was huge. I mean, when you look at the size of the trees that this thing was standing next to, I mean, here are the trees, okay? Look how tall these trees are. And I'm just walking around filming with my selfie stick. I'm not paying any attention. Can you see this being standing right here? Can you see it? Look. Look how tall it is. Dressed all in white. The only dark area was the head. Everything else was dressed in, was like white. You can see the torso, the shoulders, the legs, everything. And it almost looks like there's a hand extended or an arm extended here, almost as if the angel is going like this and protecting me. Can you see that? Amazing. And what does God tell us in His Word? God commands His angels charge over us in all of our ways. Okay? And He most definitely did that day for me. Now here's another filter of the same image. Can you see this being standing here? Can you see him? You can see my selfie stick and my cell phone, and I'm filming as I'm doing a trail walk through Piney Run Park. Can you see that being standing there right in front of me? It was most definitely an angelic being from God sent to protect me. At least that's what I feel as I was walking the trails, watching over me. God commands His angels charge over us in all of our ways. Not just some, but all. Okay? So I wanted to show you that. All right? Now, Brother Isaac, okay, there's a brother on this channel named Brother Isaac, if you're new here. He has sent me many screenshots of things he has found on my trail walk videos at Piney Run Park and Freedom Park. He found this particular video, and I outlined it of what he thought was a half-cloaked Sasquatch. Now, I'm going to try and point this out to you as best I can. It's very hard to make out, okay? But I'm going to point it out to you and see if you can see it. All right? So I circled it for you. He put, he wrote eyes watching me. But if you look, I can see an outline. I'm sorry. Like when I look at it, I can see an outline of a being with there's a face here with eyes, and here's the whole body here. And it looked like it was cloaked to me, like half cloaked. And Brother Isaac sent this to me. I definitely see a half-cloaked body and a cloaked being there. Now, here's another image of what I found in my sunglasses. It looked like two faces. To me, it looked like there's an eye, a mouth. It looks like a head here. It looks like some kind of, I don't know what kind of being it is. And there's another being down here with a face that I found in the refraction of light in my sunglasses, between my camera and my sunglasses, that I circled for you guys. All right. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, I found two faces in my sunglasses here, and I was at Piney Run Park when these pictures were taken, and I found two different faces watching me, okay, as I was taking my walk. Can you see the faces? I said two faces. Here's one. Let me see if I can get my finger right here. One here. Here's the head. Can you see that? You can see the face here. Like, here's the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Here's the head right here. And there's another face over here on the other side that's a little hard to make out, but it's right here. Let me hold it up closer. Can you see the eyes? Okay. There's an eye and a nose, and there's a face there. Can you see it? It's kind of on an angle, so it's kind of hard to see, but there's a face there. And here's both faces. Can you see both faces? Now, isn't it interesting that the refraction of light between my camera and the sunglasses is exposing and decloaking these things? I hope you can see that. All right. All right, let me see here. And here's a more close-up of that one face that was seen in my sunglasses. Remember, they're cloaked, they're invisible, and the only thing that's making them even partially visible is the refraction of light between the camera of either my laptop or my cell phone and my sunglasses. Okay? There you go. All right, let me see if there's anything else here. Here's another image of these two faces. Can you see them now? They might be a little bit clearer. This is with a different filter. You can see one face in one lens and one face in another lens of my sunglasses. So am I being watched and monitored? I would definitely say yes. But am I also being protected by the Father Most High? Yes. Okay? So do I look worried? Nope. All right, so let me see here. Now here's an image in black and white. So I ran it through a black and white filter to show you the same image in black and white. Okay? So here we go. Here's the two images. Here's a face here. Here's the head. You can see the hair, the head and the eyes, the nose and the mouth. And then here's another face over here on an angle. Can you see them? I definitely see a face over here. I see eyes, a nose, and a face, and a shape of a head, and especially over here. Maybe even more than one. I'm not sure, but I at least see two faces, one in each lens. And I've got them in black and white here. Now, these are images that I found personally in my sunglasses during my walk at Piney Run Park. Okay? Let me see here if I can find more. Now I found something that I thought looked like two faces looking at me. I don't know if this is visible to you or not, but I'll show you. I put two faces on here. I felt like there were two eyes here, and an eye and a head here. At least one face, but I thought it looked like two faces to me. If you see more than that, let me know. But there's definitely something watching me in the lens of my sunglasses there. There's two dark spots here. Dark spot, dark spot, dark spot, head. At least one face. There may be two. And I circled it for you. If you see more than that, let me know. That was at Piney Run Park as well. All right. All right, now, this one face Fox Carpenters found, okay, this was a subscriber on my channel after I'd finished a walk at Piney Run Park, and she found this face that she said looked like a pale face, a white, pale face, looking off to the side like this. Now, whether it was an angel watching out for me or whether it was a demonic thing, I don't know, but it looked like the face was facing this way, looking off to the side and not looking directly at me. Let me see if you can see this. Can you make this out? To me, it looks like, okay, like there's an eye here, a nose, a mouth, and here's the head. I don't know if that's visible to you or not. Can you make that out? It almost looks like a face to me. You know, eye, nose, mouth, almost like it's looking off to the side. I don't know if that's visible. You know, sometimes when I put things up here, on the camera with my phone, I don't know how visible they are or not. I'm hoping you guys can see it. Let me see here. Here's another image of the same face, if you can see it. And again, a subscriber named Fox Carpenter has found this. Okay. Let me see here. Now, this next image I'm going to show you came from the mountains of Pennsylvania, from my friend Christine's property. Again, it was the middle of winter, snow on the ground, and the mountains of Pennsylvania, the ground was frozen. And it was a literal tree, an entire tree driven into her ground. This tree right here was probably 10 to 12 feet tall and was driven at least 3 feet into her ground so that it could be stabilized. And the ground was frozen, okay? And as you can see, there's snow on the ground. And this is in the mountains of Pennsylvania. Her husband walked into the backyard one day and said, "What is this behind our shed? Who did this?" And he called her out to take a picture, and this is what she took. And it's just literally driven into her ground. As you can see, there's no like shovel marks where someone like dug up the ground, and there's no shovel marks. It just looks like a clean drive into the ground. There's no shovel marks, like someone dug up the ground, put it in the ground, and then put the dirt back to hold it in place. Nothing. Look at this. It's just driven into the ground. And there's snow on the ground, and it was the middle of the winter and frozen in the middle of the mountains of Pennsylvania. And obviously it was broken off because, you know, you can see up here where it was broken off. It looks like a fresh break to me. Look at this thing. Where are the shovel marks in the ground? There's snow in the background. It's frozen. It's anomalous, isn't it? Huh? So that's in the mountains of Pennsylvania. All right. Now I want to show you this. Okay. This image I'm going to show you was given to me by a brother. Okay. He sent this image to me of what looked like a Sasquatch watching me from behind a white birch tree. Okay. I've shown you this before. This is only a partial image of what looks like, okay, I've got other images, but this looks like the head, an arm down here, and the legs go way down here. I just don't have the entire picture. Actually, let me see here. I might be able to have, let's see if I can get this here. Okay, as you can see, okay, this being was standing here watching me. Here's a dark figure beside a white birch tree watching me. Here's an arm, an elbow, here's the head, and here's the being watching me from beside a birch tree. And this being over here looked like a white Sasquatch. I've got other images of that too. You can see the eyes, the nose. It was ducked down low in foliage and watching me from close to the ground. It's got a white face with eyes and a nose and a brow ridge watching me. And this was at Piney Run Park. And these two images here of the dark being, which I believe is a Sasquatch, was watching me from beside a birch tree. Now, I did not see this, guys, when I was taking my trail walk at Piney Run Park. I did not see this. I was panning around and didn't see a thing. But thanks to this brother for sending me these pictures of this being watching me from beside a birch tree. Now, this particular picture right here of the white Sasquatch with the face, I did find on my own. Watching me from close to the ground behind some foliage. And you can see, like, you know, you can see some eyes here, nose. Okay. Let me see what else I got here. Now, these other images I'm going to show you were taken at Piney Run Park as well. As a matter of fact, these images I'm going to show you were from my very first trail walk at Piney Run Park that I filmed for you guys. As a matter of fact, I went there to Piney Run Park that day to film for you and read from Scott Carpenter's book, The Nephilim Among Us. Okay, and as I was doing that, these were some of the pictures that were captured in my sunglasses, okay, while I was reading from Scott Carpenter's book. Can you see the faces there? I have them outlined. You can see a face here, here, here. Now here, there's nothing. So I'm showing you a contrast between nothing being in my sunglasses and something being in my sunglasses. Now look at the face here. Look at this face right here. Face, 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 watching me. In my sunglasses, as I was reading from Scott Carpenter's book. You can even see the pupils of the eyes watching me. The entire time I'm reading from Scott Carpenter's book. Okay? This is another being right here, standing there in the middle of a trailway. You can see the legs and the torso here. And of course, but this is what I wanted to show you was the picture. Let me see if I can get a better picture of these beings in my sunglasses for you, if I can find them. Okay, I'll get back to that. Here's some more faces that I found in my sunglasses as I was doing trail walks. Okay, you can definitely see a face here. Eye, nose, mouth. Again, eye, nose, mouth. This is the same image with different filters. Mouth, nose, eyes. Watching me as I was making my trail walks at Piney Run Park. Can you see those faces? All refracted light in my sunglasses between the camera and my sunglasses. Okay? Now, like I said, some of these images may be a little disturbing for some people, so I wanted to warn you ahead of time. Now, this is the concrete slab that I found overnight in my yard. It made no sense to me. Like I said, I've lived here for 21 years in Sykesville, have never seen such a thing, and I went out one day and found this huge, like 3 foot long, 2 feet thick concrete slab just thrown into my yard. Now, I don't know who would have picked it up and carried it there. It would have taken at least 2 or 3 or 4 men. This thing was so thick and so heavy to just pick it up and dump it into my yard. I'd like to know how it got there. All right, so here it is. You can't tell by the images, okay, in these pictures here, but this thing was huge, guys. It was thick, it was huge, it was long, and it was wide, and it was just amazingly heavy. One person could not have picked this up. As a matter of fact, I had a man come into my yard, and I asked him to try and pick it up, and he couldn't do it. He could barely move it. That just showed up in my yard overnight. Okay? Again, I think the enemy is just trying to push back, but it's not working. Here's another image of my friend Christine taking a picture of the tree that was driven into her ground in the dead of winter and frozen ground. She's wearing a coat, as you can see, and it's just driven into the ground. Now, where are the markings of the shovel? No one dug this ground out and shoved this into the ground. It was just driven into the ground by something with opposable thumbs. And here she is taking a picture of it in the mountains of Pennsylvania behind her shed. All right. Now, here are some pictures of some orbs that I've taken, along with some pictures in the mountains of Pennsylvania. So we've got pictures of, okay, this picture here I took, it was flying over my house. This particular picture here is a red orb that I saw one evening coming from the direction of Piney Run Park, okay, off to my west, all right, and flying over my house. And I happened to aim my camera up and go, what is that? And I took a picture of it, and this picture is what I got, flying over my house. Now, this picture here, of course, is the picture in Christine's yard in Pennsylvania. This picture here of the red orb is what I took flying over my house. Now, this orb right here is a white orb that I captured, and it looks like it's got eyes on it. If you can see it, it looked like a white orb on my camera, a bright white orb, but here is an eye, and here is an eye right here. And here's another image of that orb. And as far as this goes, this is where the staff was driven into my ground. Okay, so once I dug that 3-inch thick staff that was 58.5 inches long, 58.5 inches long, driven 6 inches into my ground. Once I was able to, I had to use my leg to crack it off, and then I had to use a shovel to dig it out. So once I did, this is the hole that was left in my yard, right here. So that's in my yard. And this was an orb that flew over my house, and this was another orb that looks like it has eyes on it. If you can see that. There's the red one, there's the tree driven into Christine's ground in Pennsylvania, and here are the orbs that I captured on my camera. Okay? Weird. Really weird. Here's the staff that was driven into my ground. You can't see it from here. Now, this picture here is, I saved this picture because this is the picture that had the original faces in them that I showed you earlier, where the beings were looking down at me while I was reading from Scott Carpenter's book. So I saved this picture of the beings in my sunglasses and put it here like a collage. But this is the staff that was driven into my ground. You can't tell by looking at it, but it was almost 3 inches around, driven into my ground. Okay, 6 inches, and there's no sign of hammer marks or somebody like hammering it into the ground. And when I asked the Father for confirmation, he gave it to me 2 days later when that white orb flew by, and I got a picture of it flying by. I think it was definitely put there to give me a warning that we know that you know. Now, this particular image, let me see if I can find it for you guys. Okay, this image down on the bottom here is that orb that flew by that had the eyes on it. Okay, so after I saw this, okay, in my yard, driven 6 inches into my ground, I asked the Lord, is this what I think it is, Lord? And this, okay, right here, right on the bottom here is what flew by, and it looked like a bright ball of light, but if you look at it, can you see the eyes? That's what flew by in my yard, looking over at me as I was taking a picture of the sunset. You can see an eye, and it looks like just a round orb right here, and that's what was looking back at me. And I just happened to I was just happening to hold my phone up, okay, because I was going like this, taking a picture of the sunset off to the west, because the sun sets to the west of Piney Run Park, and I had a really good view of a sunset. And as I was doing that, this is what I captured, a picture of that orb with eyes, and it was flying by, looking right at me. If that's not confirmation, I'd like to know what is. Okay. Here's another compilation of some pictures that I found at Piney Run Park. There's an image of that white Sasquatch that I found with here's an eye, a nose, here's the head. There's a being on those wooden stairs that I was telling you about. There's some arches that I found at Piney Run Park. And I circled a being right here that was sitting. I don't know if you can make it out too well. There was a being sitting. Can you see it? It's got like a head and a body, like right here. I'll see if I can put it. Here's a head and here's the body right here. And when I was walking up to those wooden stairs, the very first time that I went to Piney Run Park, I felt the Holy Spirit tell me, don't go that way. Can you see the being sitting there on the wooden stairs in Piney Run Park? I circled it. And I felt like the Lord telling me, do not go that way. And I didn't. And I went to the left instead of going up the stairs. That particular day. I don't know if you can see it. Okay? So, am I being watched? I'd say so. Now, here's another face that I found in my sunglasses. I don't know if you can see it too well. I outlined the face for you. It has a conical head. To me, it looks like a conical head up through here. Okay, here's an eye, a nose, a mouth, and here's the shape of the face and the conical head. Can you see the pupil? That was another reflection in my sunglasses. Okay, so you've got an eye, okay. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to have a text message come up. An eye, and here's the conical shaped head right here. chin, nose, eyes, right here. Look at that. You could even see the pupil. And I have it outlined with arrows pointing at the eyes. So like I said during yesterday's video, am I being watched? Am I being monitored? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely am. But you know what? I trust the Father to take care of me. Now here's the same image of that same being I just showed you with a different filter. Can you see it more clearly now? Eyes, nose, mouth. And there might even be another face down here. I'm not sure. That might be eyes down here. Another head. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure. All I know is most definitely, though, this is an eye, that is an eye, and this is the shape of a head. And here's a nose, and here's a mouth. And this is with a different filter. Hopefully you can see that. And that was in the refraction of light in my sunglasses as I was walking through Piney Run Park. So, does the enemy have his forces out watching me to see what I'm saying about them and what I'm exposing about them? Absolutely. Now, this is a footprint that I'm going to show you that I found in my backyard. About, I'd say 3 months ago, I was out filling my bird feeders, and I just happened to see a dirt area. And when I looked in the dirt area, okay, I saw this, it looked like a huge footprint. And then I put my footprint next to it. So what you're going to see is my footprint next to a very huge footprint, which one I'm about to show you, okay? Now, this is the first time I've ever seen a footprint in my yard. I've never seen a footprint until this particular picture, all right? So I'm going to show you this picture. It's kind of hard to make out. This is my footprint here. Right here is my footprint. And this is the footprint I found in my yard. Right here. If you can see the difference in sizes, it's very hard to make out. This is my footprint from top to bottom, and this is the other footprint I found from top to bottom through here. Here's the big footprint, and here's my footprint from top to bottom down through here. Now I have to admit, that's the only footprint I have found, okay, in my yard. Usually it's rock formations, other anomalies, and things like that I've shown you already. But that's the first footprint that I have found. Here's another picture that another brother in Christ sent me of that being watching me. Here's a white birch tree right here, and here's that dark being standing here watching me. Here's an elbow with an arm going this way, shoulder, head. Here's the torso. And here the legs go all the way down. But here's that being watching me from the side of a tree. It stands out like just a black sore thumb to me, watching me. I did not see it with the naked eye, though. I didn't. So a brother in Christ sent that to me as well. Again, being watched, right? But am I moved by it? Nope. Now here's another black and white image of that one face that I showed you earlier. I'm just running it through different filters and showing you if you can see the pupils, the eyes, the face, the cone head. Okay, these Nephilim beings. I'm trying to expose these Nephilim to you guys because I'm trying to be a watchman on the wall and show you that we are living as like the days of Noah. We are. Okay, we are. They're there. Here's another filter that I ran this through. Maybe you can see it easier that way as well. Okay. Here's another image of what that brother sent me of that black being standing there watching me. I outlined it and put some notes next to it. And this was emailed to me by a brother in Christ. So I did not find this. I did not see this with the naked eye. This was emailed to me by a brother in Christ. Of a black being standing next to a white birch tree watching me. Okay. Here's some more images of this. Okay, that he sent me. Now, as you can see, I was a distance away because I was filming, and as you can see, I was not up close. What I did was I blew these images up here and made them larger. But you can see how far away I was. I didn't see this thing standing there, but here it was. Look how thick the foliage and the trees were as I was walking through the woods. okay, of Piney Run Park. Look how thick the foliage was. It was standing right beside a white birch tree, and I never saw it. Now, this is how far I was away from it. These pictures up here were pictures that I blew up. I blew up and made larger for you guys and enhanced. But this down here is the original image and how far away I was from this dark image. Right here. Again, this was sent to me by a brother in Christ. That stands out like a sore thumb to me. That is not natural. That should not be there. That is definitely a being of some kind. And that was sent to me by a brother in Christ. Okay? Here's some more images of the same thing. Definitely something monitoring me, watching me, knowing that I'm exposing them. Now, this is one of the best images I have yet of things that were sighted, I believe, in my sunglasses, okay? So I want to show you this. Can you see the faces? There's at least 3. There might be more. Can you see them? 1, 2, 3. Look at this particular, whatever this is here. If it's a disembodied Nephilim spirit, if it's a fallen angel, I don't know. But look at these faces. And at the time that this image was taken in my sunglasses, okay, because this was in my sunglasses, I was reading from Scott Carpenter's book at Piney Run Park. Now, obviously, I was being watched while this image appeared in my sunglasses. Can you see the pupils and the eyes looking right at me? They were standing right in front of me, guys, and who knows what was behind me, beside me, who knows? There's at least 3 faces here, if not more. But this one in particular stands out to me, right here. You can even see the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Okay? So I'm just trying to give you a compilation of images that were found. Now I'm going to go back to the mountains of Pennsylvania. Okay? My friend Christine went out into her driveway one day, and she found what she feels are Sasquatch hairs in her driveway, and I believe her, okay, because I've been in the mountains of Pennsylvania when anomalous things have happened. I've been at her house when her house has been banged on, when the orbs show up on her night vision camera. I've seen the rock formations appear overnight. I've seen her furniture strewn all over the yard with no explanation. One night her furniture is fine, the next morning it's all over the place. Or she's got rock formations everywhere, okay? So she woke up one morning and took a picture of these long hairs that she said looked like Sasquatch hairs, okay? There you go. And that's from Christine's driveway in the mountains of Pennsylvania. And again, I hope to get out soon and do an interview with her again for the 3rd time, because she's got other pictures to show you guys and other things to share. This is one of the many rock formations that she says, and I've seen it myself, changes weekly. Sometimes they remain the same for days, other times they change daily, other times they change once a week. So this is one of the rock formations that she found in her backyard in the mountains of Pennsylvania. Stacked up like that. Other times, the rocks are stacked in different formations. So this is in the mountains of Pennsylvania on Christine's property. What it means, we have no idea. All I know is that these rock formations change almost weekly. Okay? All right. Here's another picture, I think a good picture of that face of that white Sasquatch I found. Almost looked like it was half cloaked, but it was down close to the ground. You've got, like I said, you've got an eye, a nose, an eye. Here's the brow ridge. Definitely something watching me. And that was at Piney Run Park, okay? Now, here's a picture of that being on the wooden stairs that I was telling you about. Can you see it sitting there? Crouching down low. You've got a head right here, and a body right here, and a head. I don't know if you can see that. I've got it circled for you. But that day, I could not see anything. I wasn't seeing anything but the stairs. But I felt this odd feeling not to go that way that day, and I didn't. And now I know why. Can you see that? There's something there, sitting on the stairs, blocking my path. And I felt the Lord tell me, do not go that way today. And I didn't. And I went off to the left instead of going up the stairs. You see it? Okay, let me see what else I can find. Here's another image of the orb that flew by in my yard after I found that staff in my yard that had eyes that were looking at me. There it is. Is that not evil looking? This thing, I'm telling you, this thing right here, okay, I was holding up my phone just like this, taking a picture of a sunset off to my west, and this thing with here's an eye and here's an eye and here's the orb just flew by like this, and my phone just happened to capture it. How could I time that? And after I asked the Lord, is this what I think it is that drove that staff into my ground? 58.5 inches long, 6 inches deep into the ground, 3 inches thick. I mean, who did this? And this flew by a day later. I wasn't expecting it. I was just taking a picture of a sunset. You know, I have a telescope. I love to take pictures of astronomy, and, you know, I take nature pictures. I'll even post them on the channel sometimes. You've seen that. And even on my Facebook pages. I didn't expect this to come flying by. How could I perfectly time this thing flying by, me capturing it? How? Look at this thing. It's got eyes on it. I mean, what is it? Obviously doing reconnaissance work and looking at me is looking straight at me. And I can't help but think that the Lord allowed me to see this, okay, to confirm for me it's exactly what you think it is, Angie. Exactly. The enemy knows that you know, and he doesn't like that you're exposing him. Too bad. All right, here we go. Here's another image of an orb with eyes. It looks like it's got eyes on it. You know, of course, you've got the bright orb here with an eye here and an eye here. So who's to say that these beings can't turn into these balls of light and fly around? I don't know, guys. I don't have all the answers. All I know is what I'm picking up on my camera. Okay? Here's another image of the staff that was driven into my ground. Again, you can see there's no shovel marks in my yard. No one dug my yard up. Okay? There's no hammer marks up here showing that it was driven into the ground by a hammer or anything like that. And again, I asked neighbors to see, and I tried it. And I even asked, male neighbors, can you drive this thing into the ground? They took it and they were just jamming it into the ground. They could not get it into the ground, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then it would fall over. This thing literally was so deep into the ground, I had to crack it off. I had to use my leg, crack it off, okay, and then use a shovel to dig the rest of it up, to get it out of my ground. And then 24 hours later is when I saw that, which I took as coming from the Father as confirmation that it's exactly what I thought it was. Okay? So, anyway, I know this video is dragging on. Let me show you a couple more images and I'll let you go. I don't know if you can see this, but this is another face that was seen on camera. If you can see, here's the head. I'm sorry. Here's the head. There's a nose, an eye. This almost looks like an ear of some kind. Here's a head. Can you see the mouth? Mouth, nose, eye, ear, and here's a head. Right here. That I found on one of my trail walks. And now this was sent to me by a subscriber. I didn't find this. This was sent to me. Said, did you see this? This thing was watching you. And I said, nope, I didn't see it. Okay? So, there you go. What else do we have here? There was something else that a subscriber sent me that they circled that said was watching me, and I'll see if I can blow it up for you guys. They circled it for me and put an arrow. Let me see if I can blow it up and see if we can make sense of this. It looks like eye shine to me. There are two faces here, actually. Oh, wow. Now that I look at it, I just noticed this. And I've looked at this picture 1,000 times. There looks like eye shine here and another face. And let me show you. It looks like a face up here, which I never saw before. Here's an eye, a nose. And it looks like a head up here, a face. And this looks like eye shine down here, an eye and a head. And then here's a face right here. So it looks like two faces. One is a face and one is eye shine. Could you see that? That was sent to me by a subscriber. You know, you got eye shine here, and it looks like a head or a face. It almost looks like a man's face looking at me from the foliage as I was at Piney Run Park. Wow. Just wow. Okay. What else do we have here? Here's another face that's a little hard to make out, but I'm going to show you anyway. Can you see the face? It's right here. If you could look like, I'm sorry, right here. Can you see nose, eye, mouth? It's like half a head. Half of his head is behind a tree. Here's the hair. Here's the side of the face, but here's the face right here. Can you see that? Looking at me from around a tree. So if anybody doubts that we have modern Nephilim and Luke, like as in Luke 21 and Matthew 24, think again if you doubt it. They are out there, and I believe that they are waiting as the Etherion and the beasts of the earth for them to be given permission by God to be unleashed on the earth. I do. Now, I'm sorry this video is so long, but I told you I was going to make a compilation video for you of many different photos, okay? So that's what I wanted to do today, is focus on showing you the photos. And these are just some of the photos, guys, not all of them. These are just some of the photos that I've taken from Piney Run Park, Freedom Park, my yard, the mountains of Pennsylvania. There are more. Okay, you wait till I get to Piney Run Park again in the spring and I start interviewing people, okay? Lord willing, all right, to expose these things. But, you know, this is just, you know, here's another picture of the X that I found at Freedom Park. Okay, I came across this X at Freedom Park. How does that happen naturally? This is an X that I found at Freedom Park. And if you watch the video that I did, okay, if you watch the video I did, okay, I remember stating in the video, wouldn't it be interesting if I found an X formation here? And I looked up to my right within 5 seconds and I'm like, wait a minute, there's an X. I can't believe it. This is what I found. There it is. Freedom Park, Sykesville, Maryland. Okay. All right, what else do we have here? All right, this is just another picture of that orb that I pictured that flew by my deck that day when I was taking a picture of a sunset. After I asked the Lord for confirmation about what drove that staff into my ground. This is what flew by. It's evil. Absolutely, absolutely evil and watching me. Okay. You know, I'm going to leave it there for now. Let me see if I have anything else to show you guys that I've missed. Okay, the only thing I have to show you is, okay, there's a few pictures here that I can show you. This is just a picture of an orb, okay, that flew by. This picture here, let me blow it up for you, is where I cracked the stick off out of my yard because I had to use a shovel and my leg to crack the stick out of the ground. I tried to pull the staff out of the ground. I couldn't get it out. So I had to use my leg and my foot and a shovel and crack it off, okay? Then I had to dig it out of the ground. So this is what was left in the ground. Now, this piece here still goes 6 inches down into the ground before I pulled it out. I had to use a shovel to dig the rest of it out. So this is in my yard, okay? And this is part of the crack that was left coming out of the ground. I took a side view of it coming out of the ground. I managed to pull some of it out, okay, because I cracked it off here. It's kind of hard to see, but there you go. I cracked it off, and then left some of it in here, but then had to dig the rest of it out. And that was in my yard. Look how thick around that is. And I couldn't even pull it out of the ground, and I had some male neighbors. I said, "Can you guys, is there anybody that can jam this into the ground?" And they tried, and they're like, "No, we can't do it." So it's just, I found it interesting. All right, well, I'm going to leave it here for now, okay? I'm sure I'll find more photos for you guys later, but I'll leave it here for now. I just wanted to show you a compilation. It's been an hour and a half already, and thank you for bearing with me this long through the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm going to turn this into a live chat premiere. So the video is recorded, but the chat is live. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. But I promised you a couple of days ago that I would try and do a compilation of photos that I've taken from Freedom Park, Piney Run Park, the mountains of Pennsylvania, and in my own property here in Sykesville, Maryland. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation. Like I said, I'm going to try and contact my friend Christine and see if she's up for an interview soon. If she's not up for me to go to Pennsylvania, we can even try, and I can even try and do a Zoom call with her and do a Zoom interview with her. Okay, so even if I can't get there in person or she's not feeling well, because she is dealing with some health issues right now, and she really could use your prayers. Okay, my friend Christine could use your prayers. I'm asking for that. If I can't get out to see her because she's not doing well, I'm asking for your prayers, and maybe I can convince her to do a Zoom call with me, and I can record it and we can do a Zoom interview, okay? But I really would like to interview her again because she's got so much to share with you guys, honestly, so much to share about these last days, the modern Nephilim, the days of Noah, Matthew 24, Luke 21, signs in the sun, moon, and stars, things that are coming on the earth that could cause men's hearts to fail them for fear, okay? But you know what, guys? What I want to end this with is you take dominion. Do not stop camping. Do not stop going out and fishing. Do not stop going out and going on trail walks. I'm going to go on them. I'm not going to stop going and enjoying nature and going enjoying the lake at Piney Run Park and the woods and having my lunch out there and enjoying nature. Okay? It's really one of those things where we have to say, I'm an heir together with Christ. I'm seated with him in heavenly realms, and I can take authority over all the power of the enemy, and I'm taking dominion, just like Christ gave me. And I'm trusting the Father to protect me. And I'm going to go out and enjoy this world that he gave me to enjoy. Because the Word of God says God gave the earth to man. Okay? So, does that mean we're out to contact these things, interact with them? Absolutely not. No. No gifting, no talking to them, no nothing. It just means we're out to expose them, okay? And prove to people that we are living as Christ promised, as in the days of Noah. And these hybrid offspring, they're out there. I've proven that to you on this channel in times past, and today, hopefully, they're out there. But you know what? Don't let it stop you from going out and going for a walk, or enjoying a park, or going camping, or going fishing, whatever you may enjoy. Get out and enjoy what God has given you, but take dominion in his name, and know who you are in Christ, and stand on that, okay? So hopefully more to come soon. I'd like to do, like I said, Wednesday of this week in my area. It is going to be a little warmer and sunny. Maybe I can take you guys out for another trail walk later in the week. Some of you have emailed me saying you enjoy the trail walks. I'm glad to hear that. So hopefully I'll take you back out on another trail walk, okay? Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this live chat premiere. And as I always say, Lord willing, more to come soon. Thank you for looking at the video and the footage and the pictures. And thank you also for your prayers for my protection and my safety as I go out and film for you guys. Really, I read your comments and your emails when you tell me you pray for my safety when I go out and I do these trail walks for you guys and collect the evidence of these pictures of these beings. Okay? I know you're praying for me, and I thank you for that. Okay? And I want you to know that I appreciate it more than I can say. God bless you. Oh, and if you want to get in touch with me, please look in the description section of the video, of every video, okay? In the description section, I have my email address, my P.O. Box address, and other links that you can click on, okay? So if you want to get a hold of me, please check out the description section of the video, expand it, and there are links there that you can click on to find my WordPress blog, to find my Patreon page, to find my email address, to find my P.O. Box address, and so on, okay? So please, expand that description section, and you will find a way to get a hold of me, all right? And if you have any pictures to share, okay, I will give you credit on this channel if you want to share pictures of things you've experienced, whether it's with modern Nephilim, okay? No matter what it is, you will not be ridiculed on this channel. There are brothers and sisters on this channel that will pray for you, that are having the same experiences like I am, and that we will stand with you, and we are not going to call you crazy, all right? We understand you, we're praying for you, and you have a safe place to come here and share your testimony, all right? More to come soon, Lord willing, okay? God bless you guys, and thank you so much for subscribing and for listening and looking at the pictures today. God bless you.